Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Have you ever finished a fast food meal and immediately wished you had ordered something else? Not because it was terrible, but because it wasn't worth it. That's not bad luck, and that's missing information. Today, we're counting down 10 McDonald's Canada items you may want to think twice about ordering, starting with choices that seem harmless, and building toward the one item people regret the most once they understand what they actually got. Stay with me, because as this list climbs, the calories get heavier, the value gets weaker, and the final item completely changes how many Canadians order at McDonald's. Let's start quietly. 10. Sweet tea, large, Ka2.89. Most people do not notice the mistake while they are still drinking the sweet tea. They notice it later, when their energy drops faster than expected. When the refreshment they wanted quietly turns into a heavy aftertaste. When thirst somehow feels stronger instead of satisfied. And that is the moment Ca289 stops feeling cheap. Here is what experienced Costco and fast food shoppers learn early. Drinks are where small money creates big regret. The price looks harmless, almost invisible on the receipt. But one overly sweet drink can change how the entire meal feels. Have you ever finished a beverage and thought it ruined what should have been a good lunch? Smart Canadians follow a rule many people discover too late. If it does not feel good after the last sip, it was never a deal. Because real value is not the number on the menu. It is the feeling you carry when you walk out the door. So be honest. Are you choosing what sounds healthy or what actually leaves you feeling better? Stay with me, because the next item on this list looks even safer than the Ca2.89 sweet tea. And surprisingly, it is where many customers realize cheap decisions can become disappointing ones very fast. 9. McPizza Bites, Ka2.49. Most people decide on the McPizza Bites in seconds. K2.49 feels too small to question. It sounds like a harmless add-on to the meal, something fun to try without thinking twice. And that is exactly how quick regrets begin. Here is what many customers recognize too late. Cheap trial items create the fastest disappointment, because expectations rise the moment you open the box. When the taste feels ordinary, the value disappears instantly. Have you ever taken a first bite and already known you chose wrong? Smart shoppers pause when something looks unusually easy to add. Impulse decisions rarely feel smart afterward, especially when predictable options were right there. Fries may not be exciting, but they almost never disappoint. So ask yourself, are you ordering for satisfaction or just for curiosity? Stay with me, because the next item costs more than Ka2.49. And that makes the regret feel even heavier when expectations are not met. 8. Teriyaki Chicken Sandwich, say $7.89. The moment a meal crosses the $7 mark, expectations change. Because $7.89 no longer feels like a small decision. People expect balance, flavor, and a clean eating experience, not something that turns into a messy situation halfway through. And that is where surprise quietly becomes disappointment. Here is what catches many customers off guard. Sweet sauces sound harmless when you read the menu, but too much sweetness removes the freshness people wanted from chicken. Instead of tasting balanced, every bite starts to feel heavier. Have you ever ordered something that sounded smart, but felt wrong almost instantly? Experienced shoppers learn to watch for one subtle signal. When a menu uses comforting words, the brain relaxes too fast. Chicken often translates to safer, lighter, better. But price should always match the experience you receive. So be honest. When you try something new, are you choosing confidently or just hoping it works out? Stay with me, because the next item is even heavier. And it is where many Canadians realize that more ingredients does not always mean more satisfaction. 7. Big Roasty, K7.49. There is a moment people do not expect with the Big Rusty. Not when they order it, not when they unwrap it, but about 5 minutes after they start eating. When the first comfort turns into unexpected heaviness. And suddenly, Ca7.49 feels like a commitment instead of a treat. Here is what many customers recognize too late. A sandwich loaded with ingredients sounds like strong value, but fullness arrives faster than satisfaction. Energy drops, focus fades, and the meal starts to feel like too much. Have you ever finished lunch and immediately felt slower than before? Smart Canadians quietly learn something important over time. Value is not measured by how much food you get. It is measured by how good you feel afterward. Because a lunch that drains your energy is never a real win. So ask yourself honestly, are you chasing quantity or choosing what actually supports your day? Stay with me, because right after this is where many viewers realize something. The next item is not just heavy, it is famous. And that makes the disappointment even more unexpected. If this video is helping you avoid one disappointing order, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to Canada Deals. This channel exists for one reason, so you don't waste money on things that look good, but aren't. And if you've ever had a fast food regret, hit like. It tells me to keep making guides Canadians actually use. Now, stay with me. Because the next item is famous in Canada, and that almost makes it harder to talk about. 6. Poutine, regular CA6*69, large, IA1289. There is something powerful about foods that feel part of the country. Poutine is not just another menu item in Canada. It carries comfort, memory, and expectation in every bite, which is exactly why disappointment hits harder when it happens. Because when you pay CA669 or even CA1289, you expect it to deliver. Here is where many customers hesitate after the first few bites. When the fries lose their crispness faster than expected. When the richness becomes heavier than enjoyable. When the excitement quietly fades into fullness. Have you ever ordered a classic and realized it did not match the picture in your mind? Experienced shoppers understand a subtle truth. Not every famous food is meant to be ordered everywhere. Sometimes the smarter move is choosing what that place does best. Because great value is not about tradition, it is about satisfaction. So be honest, are you ordering it because it is great there, or because it is hard to say no? Stay with me, because now we are entering the part of the menu where logic weakens. Desserts. And this is exactly where small decisions suddenly become very sugary ones. 5. Biscoff McFlurry. $5.99. There is something that happens the moment people see the word Biscoff. Expectations immediately rise without anyone noticing. It signals quality, richness, something slightly elevated. Not just another dessert tossed onto a tray. And when you pay $5.99, the brain quietly expects a premium experience. Here is where the surprise begins for some customers. When the flavor leans more towards soft serve than cookie texture. When the balance feels different from what they imagined. When the excitement fades faster than the ice cream melts. Have you ever taken a few bites and thought, this is good but not worth the price? Smart Canadians learn to watch one powerful influence. Brand names can make decisions feel safer than they really are. But real value lives in the experience, not the label. Because a dessert should feel satisfying to the last spoonful. So ask yourself honestly, are you choosing it for the taste or for the name? Stay with me, because what comes next surprises people even more. Breakfast items often sound responsible, yet they are where many customers accidentally order the heaviest meals of their day. 4. Benny-style breakfast wrap, K819. Morning decisions quietly shape the entire day. What feels comforting at breakfast can become a burden by mid-morning. K819 sets an expectation for something satisfying but supportive. Not a meal that makes the body want to slow down. And yet, many customers only recognize the wait after it is too late. Here is the pattern people begin to notice. Rich sauces combined with dense ingredients demand more energy to digest. Instead of feeling fueled, the body starts working overtime. Focus softens, motivation dips, and the morning loses momentum. Have you ever eaten breakfast and felt like going back to sleep an hour later? Experienced shoppers learn to protect their mornings. Because the first meal should create clarity, not resistance. A lighter choice often delivers stronger energy for longer. Real value is not just about taste. It is about how you perform afterward. So be honest. Are your breakfasts preparing you for the day or quietly slowing you down? Stay with me, because now we are entering the top 3. And this is where many Canadians underestimate one powerful thing. Sugar that looks harmless at first glance. 3. Cotton candy shake, K339-619. There is something almost irresistible about colors that feel familiar. Cotton candy brings back memories before logic even has time to react. For a brief second, the choice feels light, playful, harmless. Not something that needs careful consideration. And that is exactly how many people walk straight into a sugar overload. Here is what customers often recognize halfway through. Extreme sweetness stops being refreshing very quickly. Instead of satisfying thirst, it coats the palate and lingers. Each sip becomes heavier than the last. Have you ever ordered a drink that sounded fun, but struggled to finish it? Smart Canadians begin to notice a simple shift with experience. The best treats are the ones you actually enjoy until the final sip. Because value disappears the moment something feels like too much. A good shake should refresh, not exhaust your taste buds. So ask yourself honestly, are you choosing what looks exciting or what you will truly enjoy? Stay with me, because the next shake teaches an even more surprising lesson. Sometimes the biggest regret is not ordering something too sweet. It is ordering something you cannot even describe after the first sip. 2. Matt McDonaldland. Shake. Co 439 Dosis 569. There is a moment when curiosity quietly takes control. The name Mount McDonaldland does not explain much, and that is the point. Mystery makes the brain lean forward instead of stepping back. For a second, the unknown feels more exciting than the familiar, and that is often where expensive mistakes begin. Here is what many customers realize almost immediately. When flavor is unclear, expectations have nowhere to land. The first sip becomes a search for something recognizable. Instead of comfort, the experience feels uncertain. Have you ever tried something new and instantly wished you could swap it? Experienced shoppers build a habit that protects their wallet. When the menu feels vague, they pause instead of guessing. Because satisfaction rarely lives inside a gamble. Real value comes from choices you already trust. So be honest. Are you ordering with confidence or letting curiosity decide for you? Stay with me, because the next item is not mysterious at all. In fact, it looks incredibly safe. And that is exactly why so many Canadians regret it the fastest. 1. Filet-O-Fish. K759. Sandwich. There is something almost deceptive about safe-looking choices. The Filet-O-Fish does not promise excitement. It signals balance, simplicity, a lighter direction. Exactly the kind of sandwich people order when they want to avoid mistakes. And that is why the underwhelming feeling catches them off guard. Here is what many customers recognize the moment they finish it. Nothing went terribly wrong, yet nothing felt truly satisfying either. Hunger is gone, but the experience does not justify the price. When a sandwich approaches $8, expectations naturally rise. Have you ever finished a meal and immediately started thinking about what you should have ordered instead? Smart Canadians eventually learn one quiet financial habit. Do not measure value by how safe something appears. Measure it by how satisfied you feel walking away. Because paying more for just okay slowly drains your wallet over time. So be honest, are your food choices delivering real satisfaction or just avoiding risk? And here is the realization that connects this entire list. Most fast food regrets are not caused by terrible meals. They come from options that were simply not worth the money. That is not bad luck. It is missing information. Now you have it. 10 McDonald's Canada items that customers often wish they had skipped. From small drink mistakes to full meal regret. And remember, smart ordering isn't about spending less. It's about avoiding disappointment. If you enjoyed this guide, don't stop here. I'll see you there. This video reflects customer experiences and general feedback, and preferences may vary from person to person. Prices and availability can change by location, so always check your local McDonald's before ordering.